Good morning, and welcome to another Simple Truth. You know, simple truths have a way of becoming complex. I've talked about that for the past few weeks, how I have this tendency to take simplistic things and make them complex. It doesn't matter whether it's situations, whether it's emotions, whether it's ideas that fly around in my head, or whether it's my perception of things. We make them complex in nature. And we make them complex because we, meaning you and I, we take the place of God every once in a while. Now, before you get offended by that, I want you to just take a step back, and I want you to understand that from the very beginning of this world that God created, there has been this essence with his creation to know what God knows. Therefore, to act God like. We've had this fascination since Adam and Eve to be like God. It's how our enemies sold it to Adam and Eve. This idea of, no, God knows that you'll know what he knows. And somehow, even if we knew what God knows, that you and I would be able to act godly with that knowledge. You see, not only does God know, but God acts. And you and I, we're consistently wanting to act like God, and we don't know what God knows. Imagine what would happen if we did know what God knows, how we would perceive things differently. And that's what I want you to think about on this Friday. The simplistic truth is that in any situation, God sees everything. He sees all people and he knows all things. And he is using it towards his plan. But my problem is that in any given situation, I see what I see. And I know my plan. And even if I think I know what God has planned for me, I look at a situation and I try to make it apply to where I think God is taking me. And you know that not every situation in life is apparently all about me. Some situations in life are about you. Some situations in life are about the people around us, that God has us in a place not just for us, but for someone else. And that blows our mind because most of us tend to walk around every single day thinking that everything around us, that every situation is all about us. The problem is there is 7 billion us's in the world. 7 billion people who think that today everything that happens is all about them. Now imagine the chaos that creates in our world on a daily basis. Imagine if God actually did reveal his entire plan for us ahead of time and how we would be playing bumper cars with people's lives as we interacted with them. So this morning, here's what I want you to do. I want you to think about every situation that you're going to go through today. That as you come up upon that situation, that you would take just a second to get a different perception. Rather than getting annoyed by waiting for the signal lights or the people who are in line with you, rather than getting annoyed at your spouse or your children, your teachers, or whatever it is, take a step back and think that, wow, not only is God working in my life in this situation, but God is working in everyone else's. Would God cause you to wait a few seconds longer at a red light in order for you to avoid an accident down the road? Most of us believe that that's true. And in a good moment, we give God credit for all the things that he's probably kept us from that are bad in nature. But the truth of the matter is, if he would do that for me, would he not do that for someone else? Would God cause you to have to wait to benefit the person behind you? Would God cause you to wait to benefit the person that is ahead of you? Would God cause you to wait in line just so a cashier or a waitress or someone could take a second and do something nice for the person in front of you? Does he love that person as much as he loves you? So think about the situations that you face today. Think about not only it from your perspective, but from God's perspective, about all the people who are involved in everything that you do and what it is that God might be wanting to do in their lives today.